Who wants to recap us?
Oh, that wasn't part of the deal.
Uh, yeah, that was you, Ben. That is all you.
Oh man. Okay.
Shoot.
Let's see if I can remember everything you guys did last time. Oh boy.
I was an annoying teenager, or an entertaining one at the very least.
Uh, yeah, no, I too.
Yes.
Yeah, we had Saoirse, Nero, and brother Nick,
Yep.
who were no, Saoirse, Nero, and Victor. Sorry, who
Yep.
were already in the uh, depowered apartment building tower, whatever it was,
Mhm.
and pull off some metamorphing shenanigans to try to get to the roof,
Mhm.
but found a Tabukan unit of some kind up there who were refusing access, and so you opted for the vantage point of the 18th floor, maybe the 19th floor, uh, which turned out to be plenty. You were able to get a good vantage point on the Tabukan camp, and you passed the night observing their patrol patterns, such as they were, which were somewhat inconsistent, while you waited for Brother Nick and Cade to make their way up the mountainside to join you in the city.
Mhm.
And with the help of their little scouting drone, they were able to avoid any run ins with Tabukan patrols and joined you at the building. Um, Cade, flying the drone up to signal or to check on the building, uh, got spotted by the Tabukan troops on the roof, got shot at a little bit, at which point he decided to taunt them with a flashing of the Uralan flag and some emojis.
I regret nothing.
As you should not. That was beautiful. And encouraged them to waste some amount of charge on their laser rifles in retaliation. And also happened to draw the attention of a nearby Uralan resistance force who fired a couple of rockets at the top of the building.
I just realized that Cade doing that may have made the Tabukins a target. I'm only slow sometimes.
No, that's okay. I really enjoyed that dynamic moment uh,
Yeah.
because I didn't know how or when exactly things were going to clash. I had some ideas, but that was not one of them, and it was beautiful. Um, so you took shelter in the first floor of the building while rubble rained down around the outside, and it piloted the drone quickly out of line of sight and out of weapons range of anyone present, and got a higher vantage point on the whole altercation while you listened to more laser fire and I guess the second rocket blast. You were able to find the spot in the path of rubble through the middle of the city here where the Uralans were taking shelter, and also got a good look at the Tabukan troops on the roof and their heavy laser emplacement. And that is where we left off.
Okay. So yes, first priority. Arrow is urging us to get away from this place where the occupying force is being attacked.
Okay. Does anyone have any counter to that suggestion from Nero, or is everyone in agreement?
Can you run it by me one more time?
She just wants to get away from here, where we are right now, because here is where the occupying force got attacked, and where reinforcements or med teams are going to be sent. We don't want to be
Right.
here.
That's true. Okay. Yeah, I would agree with that.
From what we've seen so far of basically the intel that we've gathered, could Nero uh kind of decide on a direction that she thinks is the least likely that the Tabukans are going to approach from,
Um,
if they were to reinforce this position?
yeah, I mean, you're close enough to the camp. Your assumption is they will probably reinforce from the camp.
Okay.
You don't know how many they would reinforce with, but um, you know they wouldn't even need to redirect one of their patrols. Now they might if they have some on the other side of the Uralans, but yeah, you can definitely choose a path that avoids the known locations of Tabukan troops.
Okay. Perfect. And she also wants to try and take us closer to where the Tabukans were being attacked from, if she can try and navigate that bit of street smarts.
Okay, so she wants to leave the current location, not get caught by Tabukan troops, but also still maintain as close, I guess, stay as close to the Uralan troops as possible.
Well, get closer, because the only reason that we know where they are is Kate's drone. Oh,
Hmm.
well, and the rocket streaking through the air. That's a
Yeah.
good sign too.
So you're wanting to head like straight towards them? Is that what you're saying?
Only if that's not likely to entangle us directly with the Debukans.
Um, I'm gonna need a skill check of some sort on that.
Okay. Would a sneak work for that?
Hmm. Mm, possibly, although that would be a fairly difficult one. I'd say either a hmm. I'd say maybe a lead or an administer check would help considerably in this situation and be a much easier target to hit than a sneak check.
Um, yeah, I
I'm only gonna
disagree with
allow
that being
one.
easier.
Yeah, and
uh,
I may be thinking about the situation a little bit differently.
so
Um,
yeah, let me just kind of state what the intent is.
mhm,
Um, more relying on the street smarts that she picked up during her time as a rebel, trying to avoid various patrols while making her way to an objective. um, she just wants to be able to get closer to the Uralans and not look like they're suspicious. We don't necessarily need to avoid all Tabukans, but we do need to be coming from a direction that does not look like it's directly from the attack point, or direct from the attack target, or directly to the attack origin. If
mm,
that helps.
okay. Um, okay, so I think what I'll do then, you could definitely still make a sneak check. There will be some information that'll be that I that I might give you if you roll well enough.
Okay.
But I think the basic info you're looking for should be a moderately easy roll.
Okay. I assume you don't want to let me use Dex for this.
Correct. That would be
Could I
wisdom.
use Wisdom for relying
Hmm.
more on intuition and quick judgment instead of actually trying to remember the city map?
Yeah, wisdom would be good.
Cool. Eh, could be better.
Okay. So what I would tell you, what she would be able to intuit based on her experience would be that moving towards the known location of the Uralans is going to be very risky.
Hmm?
With the size of the Tabukan force and what she's seen of their willingness to retaliate quickly and powerfully, she suspects that trying to go from where you guys are and closer to the you know recent location of the Uralans, that's going to put you in the path of Tabukans.
Hmm.
And I think that's all that's all that would come to mind here in the moment that I would that I would grant as far as intuition goes.
Okay, so she'll start along that way, kind of just not really explaining herself, except for we need to get away from this place. Um, but as she, like maybe half a block down or 1 block away, she'll kind of
Hmm.
slow and pause and then look back at Saoirse and Kate and Brother Nick. Conflicted look on her face.
What is it? What is it, Narrow?
The Tabukans are gonna retaliate hard.
Do you think there's anything we could do?
They have tanks. I can't
That's kind
cut
of
them
what I
yet.
was thinking.
I will at this point remind you that you also have a reconnaissance drone pretty high up with bird's eye view.
And Nero
Yes.
does kind of look at Cade. Can you see them? Did they get away?
I can look. What does he see?
So is he trying to follow the Uralans or is he looking for Tabukan response?
I think he's looking for a combination of both.
Well, unfortunately,
Okay.
uh,
In that case, he
may
will
do one
focus
thing
on
at a
the
time.
He will
Okay.
focus on the
GM says no.
So Uralans first.
Yeah, that got a hard veto.
um, I like the idea, but for
The
the sake of
execution's a little more difficult.
Cade's ability to actually figure out what's going on in either of those places, I'm gonna make him focus on one at a time. Um, so he is able to. He's kept the drone locked on the area that the Uralans were in, and as he looks, he is able to catch glimpses of movement and see that they seem to be moving carefully from building to building uh, in a direction away from both the site they attacked and away from the Tabukan camp. It's actually angled towards the center of the city.
It looks like they're heading towards the middle of the city, Narrow.
What are the Tabukans doing? Are they going straight to the attack?
Well,
So
I can only look at one of them at a time.
Cade could refocus the cameras, reorient the drone a little bit, and
Now, when Kate
Okay.
says that, Nero, okay, follow the Tabukans
Okay.
you mean
or the Uralans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what she meant to say.
Can you try to loop around to the far side of them so that the drone's angle will be more reflecting where the Tabukans would be coming from in the background rather than where they're going to now that he has an idea of where they're going to?
Yeah, he can do that. He can kind of lead them, um, not actually lead them, but you know what I mean.
An educated guess. Yeah.
Yeah, he can get ahead of them and angle it backwards, so have a little better, have a little notice to Bookins before they fall directly on them. Uh, so yeah, you have their trajectory, and Narrow had started to take you towards them, but you're still you still seem like you have time to pick a different path before Tabukins arrive.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, Nero will try and uh refocus and just think how to get to the center of the city. This is probably a little bit less like natural muscle reflex for her or muscle memory because now it's just navigating a city.
hmm Yeah, so that can be done. Uh, what general demeanor are you guys taking as you move? Are you just strolling along? Are you jogging or running?
I think we're strolling. We do not want to draw our attention to ourselves.
Yeah.
And maybe Nero's experience can come in still helpful here with just trying to keep us out of the path while going in the general direction. I don't think that she'll be able to make like a hasty uh, trip through any buildings or anything, but just
Mm,
try and keep us under the radar essentially.
Okay. All right. So your your path takes you actually kind of skirting along the edge of this very large swath of destruction caused by whatever crashed, and uh, but eventually the route you have uh, you're you're mapping out in your mind brings you to a largish street that crosses directly through the path and heads straight into the center of the city. And it's at this point, crossing through, that you get a bit of a closer look with your own eyes of the still burning wreckage of the ship. And it looks probably frigate sized um, from what what you can see remaining of it.
Hmm.
And it looks like a significant portion of the ship uh, is what crashed down here. The rest may have broken up elsewhere, but you know, same same problems before. You can't really identify any insignia or anything on the outside of the ship. It's pretty thoroughly messed up, and uh, you're you're able to catch a glimpse looking the other direction of the that building you had been in at the edge of the destruction. Can't really make much out with the naked eye, but uh, you are not able to see from here any Tabukans clearly. You've Nero has chosen a path that gives you plenty of distance between yourselves and the probable path they'd take. So you continue on through the other side into Intact City again. And Kate is able to give an update that you're following, you're a few blocks away behind and to one side of where the Uralans are moving. And he's noticed they've picked up their pace considerably. And he
Well,
also
Cade will mention that to the group, saying that, hey guys, they've picked up their pace. I don't know if they have somebody either watching us or the Tabukans are coming.
Danielle is muted, but Nero would be looking to her for some.
Sorry.
Okay.
So I literally just said something, so your intuition is uncanny.
Perfect.
Could Saoirse use any way, use her metapsionics anyway to scan the area to see if maybe there's any Sons of Glory activity?
she hasn't sensed anything.
Okay. Saoirse's gonna look at Cade and ask him if he can use his his drone to find any good hiding spots nearby, places we could possibly sit tight.
I can try.
You talking about a place to go ahead and stop and hide for now?
If we can do that, because I don't know if we could outpace them.
Oh no, it's the
So-
Uralans that appear to be running away from Tabukans, perhaps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was that we were being hunted.
No, you guys are basically trying to follow the Uralans at a distance and kind of out of the way so you don't end up sandwiched between them and the Tabukans that are presumably going to try to follow them.
Okay.
And they've picked up the pace for unknown reasons.
And the Uralans that we're following, this is a rebel force or civilians, just to clarify.
Rebels for sure. They're the ones that fired the rockets.
Okay. Saoirse would ask Cade then if there's any way that he could send his drone ahead to warn the Uralan forces.
I could try to transmit from it to them, I guess. Otherwise, I don't think I can actually use it as a speaker.
That she meant more like the transmit messages or put on a little light show like you did with the emojis the other day.
That's kind of hard to explain things, but I can try something. So, GM, am I allowed to try to piggyback off the signal to the drone to send an audio message, like just a burst to the resistance fighters, assuming they have comms?
I'm trying to think here. So, you're aiming to try to send them something clandestine?
Well, like something very difficult to do more than just be like, there's a general signal in this area. Like, you can't block them figuring that out. I was just thinking maybe make it so it's not so obvious that something relevant to the attack was said.
How fast can it fly back to us?
I think it's 100 kph max.
Yeah, it could.
Ben, how far away are they from are we from the Uralans?
They're a handful of blocks away.
Okay, we
I'll
could
go up and
probably
you
get
could
the
get it back pretty
drone
quick.
there and back. And we have a bunch of extra compads from beating up people.
From mugging? You mean mugging?
I'm wondering if we could fly it back, tape it to the drone or something. Fly the drone down and then call the phone.
They're probably going to shoot the drone as soon as they see it, though.
The drone is in danger here. If we had time, I would have liked to work out some nice way to drop it. Do like the air messages in War 2.
Yeah. Yeah, you could definitely get the drone back in time to, strap something to it and send it back. So the problem with the digital message is just that it doesn't really have the hardware on it to encrypt anything, and you don't have anything on your person, I don't think, with the computing power to give it that level of encryption.
Ooh, I had an idea.
You could send a message, but it would be subject to potential interception.
Over the compad itself.
Yeah, now and the compad itself too. Now,
The drone itself, yeah.
so if you're sending it just to drop off a compad, you're gonna end up running a similar problem, except that then you could actually have two-way communication. So you could do the one-way message. You could deliver the compad. Both of those are subject to similar security problems. But you could well, I'll leave it at that.
Did you guys bring demo charges? In fact, I think Nero even asks this at this point. Did you bring explosives? Wait, what am I saying? She doesn't say it like that. Did you bring bombs?
Oh, my stars.
Yes, I told you yesterday. I have 3 here. And Victor looks over at Brother Nick and Cade. Did you bring more?
Yeah, Brother Nick would produce some from out of his Santa Claus bag. I'd say that makes 7.
Question. Are they coming right along this track? Like they're coming up right behind us?
It will be soon.
I don't.
Yeah,
Well,
we can't stay here. I think, right, Ben?
No, Nero specifically picked a path for you
Okay.
guys that was going to keep you out of the direct path of the Tabukans.
Okay, then scratch that.
The Uralans are the ones who are likely in more immediate trouble.
Yeah, Nero says we're okay here, but what about them?
Cade, what's the difference between the size of the forces?
Pretty large from what I noticed. There were only maybe a handful of Tabukans, and they took some casualties too.
You mean
So the larger force.
Yeah, the Uralan resistance people, but the Tabukans, I don't know any losses they may have taken. I mean, they took 2 rockets.
Yeah, you didn't see any, but there were significant chunks of that roof missing. Collapsed down into the building. But the main thing is you remembering how many were likely in the camp
Do you think that any of our explosives would be helpful against the tanks?
Yes.
Can somebody show Saoirse a map or like where our position is? Do we have any triangulation?
Mm-hmm.
Who would have that information?
Cade would probably have that on his tablet, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Kate, how long would it
Hell,
take us to intersect with the Tabukans?
Mm,
well, he'll glance at his map and drone, and what does that get him? Oh, great GM.
so is he wanting, just to double check, you're wanting to intercept the Tabukans or the Uralans?
I was saying the Tabukans, like
Okay.
where would we, if we were going towards the Uralans, where would we run into the,
Okay, so like if you wanted to try to pick a spot to ambush the incoming tanks and whatnot.
yeah.
Okay. So for that, for Cade, give me honestly, an administer check would probably work pretty well in this situation.
Hey.
Would it be better just to say how quickly could we get to the Uralans and could we beat the Tabukans? That might be a less complex question.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give you an exact amount of time exactly, but I'll be able to give you a, depending on uh how Cade does here, might be able to give you a relative answer.
And we
I,
can hustle. I was playing it was safe with Nero because I did not it just didn't register to me that she had picked a path where we could jog. Um so if we've got a good lane here, then we can pick up the pace.
administer with intellect, right?
Yeah, that's good. Okay, nice. So Cade looks at the map, does some quick some line drawing in
Guesstimation.
his head. Yeah, imagining roads and stuff. Um, and he thinks that the Tabukans are probably going to come one of a couple ways that are basically on the other side of the Uralans from where you are currently. So,
Also, they're intercepting from the direction we're going.
so
Because that's how I took that, is that the direction we're going is the direction that the Tabukans are in and are intercepting.
no. So basically, the Uralans are running away from the Tabukans. You are following them kind of on a parallel path, even further away from the Tabukans.
Okay.
And so the Tabukans are going to be coming uh, from over there. So, bottom line is that Cade thinks you might be able to make it if you really huff it, but unless the Uralans change their course or the Tabukans are much slower than you suspect, you probably will not get there with much or any time to prepare.
Does that look right, Ben? I drew a picture.
Mm, let me do it this way.
Can we get a different page? It's just getting
Yeah,
really cramped.
yeah, I could do that. I was just
Thanks.
trying to avoid having to make this too granular.
No, I don't want it granular. I just want a little bit of visual reference so I can see it better. Okay, that
It,
actually makes a lot more sense to me.
is that a little more? So top left corner there of the thing. That's the general gist of it.
Gotcha.
Um. So yeah, at current path that the Urons are taking and suspected potential response time of the Tabukans, you could get to the Uralans with maybe a little time to spare, but it's a very big question mark
And
because you don't know anything specific about the Tabukans.
it's looking really definite that the Tabukans are going to catch up with them, isn't it?
Seems likely. Now that's assuming that they're actually following them, that they've been tracking them. You haven't seen any evidence of that yet.
Okay.
But the drone has been focusing on keeping a trace on the Uralans.
What?
Out of curiosity, is there a way that the drone can examine for the possibility of Tabukan reconnaissance drones tracking them? If it
Yes,
seems like they're tracking them pretty good, then we have to assume there's some other form of pursuit or tracking than just the squad approaching.
that is definitely a possibility. Give me a notice with intelligence check. And I believe with a plus, let me take a look here.
I wish the plus was the last step of the dice roller rather than the first.
Take a +1 with it.
Okay.
Oh,
That is going to be a
No, I didn't
failure.
roll actually. It auto rolled on me.
Oh.
I hit enter by mistake. Because you'll notice that the rolls are different. Like it didn't include skill, mod, or intelligence.
Huh.
So
Oh, true. That is weird. Okay.
yep. So the first one was a glitch. Sorry. I thought it would go to the next dialogue, and instead it rolled on me.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll allow it this time. Those dice pulling some funny business. But yeah, so Cade,
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so he sets the observation suite to scanning basically the sky around where the Uralans are fleeing and looking for telltale little signatures and glimpses that would indicate some sort of observation drone of the Tabukan's own, and he is able, in fact, to spot one that is not quite as high elevation as yours, but it's up there out of typical observation range and seems to be following the path of the Uralans.
All right. So Cade will say, Brother Nick, take this and keep tracking that drone. And he'll pass the current controller off to Brother Nick. And he'll quick drop his pack and pull out his combat drone.
All right. What's everybody thinking about this?
They're being pursued, guys. The Tabukans have a drone tracking their resistance, and if we don't take it out, then they're gonna be caught. I'm willing to risk our combat drone on this, but we need to be fast.
Okay. And then Nara looks over at Saoirse.
Saoirse snorts. Right, and then what are you waiting for? Go for it.
Okay. He fires it up and sets it on basically its highest speed setting.
Yeah, so this thing is it's considerably larger than the other drone and also has a little uh a little what's the term? Not exactly, I guess it's probably got gyroscopes in it, but it's got a little turret mount on it with a laser rifle built in.
Yeah, a little turret mount. Yup.
And so this thing means business. It's got plenty of plating as far as a drone is concerned. Looks like it could take some serious hits, but he's able to spin it up and fire it off. Now, are you guys angling towards the Uralans while you do this, or
No, I
Uh,
think Cade would like duck into a corner personally.
Nara would like to continue moving. But yeah, Cade might not be able to.
what do you think, Robert? Do you think Cade would be able to operate that thing while walking or staying on the move in some
Up
way?
until combat, I think he would be able to.
Okay.
Because he would just set as direct an intercept course as he could from above, so that the combat drone wouldn't be seen necessarily until it's too late.
Okay. Yeah, so what he'd probably want to do then is keep it below the tops of the buildings and navigate it basically just as high as he can without exposing it.
Yeah.
Until he can get it close enough to take shots. And
Besides which, it's a laser rifle. That's like a 300 up to a 300-yard range, isn't it?
300 is the normal range. Yeah, it can shoot even
Oh,
farther
yeah.
if you're willing to take a
Yeah, up to 500. Cool.
Yep.
penalty. Yeah. All right. So. Way it goes.
And it probably has a simpler control setup than the other one, since it's literally just a drone with a basic camera and a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Where the other one is a complicated suite of cloaking systems and the observation suite.
Yeah, it's definitely got a much simpler control scheme, and it's going to be able to reach the other drone. Let's see. So I'm not going to worry about initiative in this case. I'm going to give you the element of surprise. Since you're prepared with the knowledge of exactly where it is and significant terrain to disguise your approach. So let me see a laser rifle shot from that drone. This is going to be. Oh, how exactly do these run again? I know it gets to use
I
your
was just looking at
intelligence.
it. It says the weapons use intelligence as controlling attribute, and the better the pilot's pilot or program skills as the
Oh,
relevant
nice.
weapon skill.
So you just roll a program
So
int.
I do. Luckily for you, I did not take the specialization in it that makes everything like 3d6
Oh,
or
wait,
4d6,
actually.
whatever that thing
Oh,
is.
it's still an
Hold on
attack
a
roll
second.
though.
No, yeah, I just realized it's actually still an attack roll, so you might want to
Oh. So how do I roll that then?
let's see. Now it's got
Because there is an option to click the laser rifle, but I think that's just roll for damage.
If you are on your drone sheet, it's already calculating. It should already be calculating using your program, or pilot, and your int, and your
Now,
attack
Okay.
bonus.
because it's got
I mean, when you roll, we'll be able to look in and see if it included all that.
yeah, let's see, because you got 1,
Yeah.
4, 5,
Like I have some
6,
serious
7.
stats on that.
Yeah, that looks right. I think it's
Okay.
calculating correctly. So if you just
Yeah,
click
it
that
should be
drone
then.
laser rifle thing.
Yeah, programmers
Burst,
and
and
pilots with
we are
drones are
totally going
amazing.
burst.
Sorry,
Yeah.
what'd you say, Robert?
We're definitely going burst fire.
Okay.
And no additional modifier, because I think the +1 from the laser rifle is factored in.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Alright. Here goes nothing. Woohoo!
Hmm. So
That's decent.
the
Your
Ooh,
attack
actually,
bonus
Technically,
the
should be
roll
higher.
on the
It's only that was only with a 2 attack bonus, and the Cade's attack bonus should be higher.
oh wow, yeah, he hasn't
Look.
updated that in a very long time, has he?
I thought I. Oh wait,
Should be
I thought
4,
that was
shouldn't it?
auto-calculated. I forgot to advance
No.
that. I am sorry.
Attack rolls
That's
are
okay.
your attack bonus in this sheet is never auto-calculated, unfortunately.
Yeah, it should be.
I think it was just the difficulty that partial warriors pose with their +1 at levels 1 and 5.
Yeah, and without making the class selection a multiple
half
choice.
character level rounded down. Okay, 4 then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a
Okay.
Yes,
16.
that brings you to a 16.
Yeah. I just
So-
realized that the actual roll was pretty low.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Well,
it went
welcome to
through.
being a warrior.
Yeah. Only I don't get to re-roll these. You can.
Oh, I don't have to
Mhm.
reroll. I can just say I hit.
I know it's so unfair.
Doesn't even care about the
It's-
dice.
Yeah.
Uh,
When
Yeah.
he misses, he still kills them.
Yeah,
That's
that too.
stun damage. Yeah.
All right, so Cade and Brother Nick having their heads together and their data slabs side by side. The angry dragon bursts up from between an office building and a store and unleashes a barrage of laser fire, cutting apart the Tabukan drone,
Woo!
Nice.
lighting it on fire and sending it spiraling to the ground.
Yes.
Nero staring up at the sky with a slack jaw and amazement in her eyes. Yes. Okay, can we move now?
Oh, my stars.
Yeah. He fist pumps and then quickly sets it to like evade as fast as possible. Not necessarily at them, but he's gotta get it out of the skies quick.
Okay.
That is the best
Yeah,
chip.
his instincts are good. Let's see. Where did that go?
I can't stop watching it.
I love that gif.
The little hiss at the end is great.
Yep. Just destroys the drone. I'll take that for representation of obliterating the. Ooh,
Sure sounds good.
the soldiers see it.
Right.
Yep.
So
They're coming.
Yep.
angling upward from the streets behind the Uralan troops, a couple short bursts of laser fire lance up towards the angry dragon,
Yep.
scorching a little bit of its plating, but fortunately for the most part missing.
Okay. That first
And
one did 4.
the second one
Cool.
missed entirely.
Yeah,
So
that was almost half the AC.
yeah, and then Kate is able to drop it low enough behind a nearby building and start bobbing and weaving some sort of jagged path away from the source of the fire. He's pretty confident he's shaken whatever attention was on it. And conveniently, Brother Nick was able to get enough of an idea where the Tabukans were from that shot that he's able to spot a handful of Tabukan foot troops and catches one just putting away a data slab.
This sucker.
Am I able to count how many there are?
Yeah, he sees 6 on a sidewalk about 2 blocks behind the Uralans.
Okay. They look like they have any other drones on standby.
Just at a quick glance, he doesn't see any, or well, I shouldn't say it at a quick glance. As he's watching, he doesn't see any other drones, though one of them has one of them is lugging a shoulder-mounted rocket launcher.
Ooh.
But this does not seem like the primary Tabukan response.
Well, we're looking to provide a life-saving distraction. I'll call him out to Cade, ask if he wants to engage him with his combat drone.
The drone versus a rocket launcher?
Oh, that group of people. And yeah, note that there is a rocket launcher.
I think the Uralans will have heard the laser fire, so I think that they will be evading and or aware that they are being pursued. So I
Yeah.
think it would be better for us all to just get out of here.
Yeah, if we're thinking this provides enough to keep them busy and give the Uralans
I think so.
getaway time.
I think we've done about all that we can do. Unless we're trying to get arrested. or killed.
Kate will look at Zirsha and say under his breath, "Can I put a rocket launcher on the next one, boss?"
She'll snort. Do well enough on this mission, and we'll definitely talk about it.
Okay,
It's on.
this way then. And Nero will now try to just take us away from any patrols or anything that patrol routes or anything that they had identified, and just get us into the clear.
Okay. And what doing with the observation drone?
What doing?
Well, Cade will get the controls back, and at this point, I think his main focus might be on the Tabukans. Do you guys want me to have him focus on the Uralan resistance? Because his thought is more or less along the lines of we have to evade the Tabukans for now, and
Yeah, that might be a better idea now.
yeah, like we can just act like resistance members by resisting the Tabukans, and they will find us, I'm sure. So yeah, he'll just focus on the Tabukans right now, ensuring that the group is safe from the Tabukans figuring out where they are and what may have happened, and then prioritizing as we become more sure that we're getting away, then prioritizing finding cover, hideout kind of thing for us.
Okay. Yeah, you can imagine they're probably going to be expanding their search to see who's operating this drone, since they were watching the Uralans. So what's the plan for contacting the Uralans then? Or let me rephrase it this way: what is the crew's primary objective right now?
This brings us to point 2. Second priority, find the resistance. Oh, yeah, that was a more active immediate. So this takes us all the way up to 3. Try and connect with the resistance. I guess do we just gonna wait until things settle down, and then have brother Nick doing his facey thing, canvassing?
Yeah, I think it might be better to have Brother Nick do his contactee thing and figure out who we should connect with.
I mean, we should all be near him, if not with him, but he should
Well, yeah.
do the talking.
I'm guessing it'll take a little bit since we hadn't been to Arsenio before, and I don't know if we're reaching out to other Uralan people.
Yeah, so I guess the reason I'm asking is whether or not you're wanting to continue trying to track wherever the Uralans are going, or if you want to focus on what the Tabugans are up to, and then figure out a different way to contact the Uralans later.
Oh. Right, I was ahead of myself. Well. Robert, did you say that you were gonna keep it on the Tabukans and keep us safe, and then we'll just pick up the trail of them later?
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
I guess we've got the 2 drones. Would we want to do similar, not the compad, but maybe that idea of dropping something, drop a rock with a note tied around it?
I mean, the difficulty will be they'll see basically a combat drone flying, and then I don't think that they would welcome it coming.
If you do your stealthy drone,
We could,
So Ethan, you're
but
thinking
I feel like by that point we would have lost the trail on them, honestly.
it sounds like Ethan is thinking of not letting things settle down and keep pursuing this thread immediately.
oh, with sending the rock, I was saying hopefully that's something where we could kind of drop it, but leave them with more awareness of us.
I'm pretty sure they have a good idea that we're here. I'm just gonna guess that the drone crashing to the street is gonna be news. So
Yeah.
He's saying word's gonna get around. that
yeah,
somebody
word's
shut
gonna get
down a
around.
drone. Yeah.
So if anything, they're going to be the resistance will be seeking it out, just like the Tabukans, trying to figure out who's getting involved.
Yeah,
I think it's just a question of who finds who first.
Nero's clearly itching for a fight, but she is begrudgingly and almost churlishly, like she doesn't want to say it. Saying this is a good place to hide. We can hole up here. I guess. Is Saoirse gonna pipe in?
I think that if we want to be of any use later on, past today, then we need to hide.
So yeah, it sounds like we take a chill pill for a minute, Ben.
Okay. So Nero can lead the party into a nearby building that has plenty of spots to hide and wait out whatever is going on. And Kate is able to continue, having stowed away the angry dragon. He's able to continue flying the Hey Neighbor up above the city.
Is that the name we're going with?
That is the name that
That's what's been on the sheet since we bought it.
What is it?
Kate
The
Hey
Hey
neighbor?
Neighbor?
his spy
Yeah, hey
term.
neighbor.
Oh my stars.
Wow.
I'd love to imagine that when the little hollow skin isn't active, there's like in giant I don't know, yellow letters, like block letters, "Hey neighbor," like across the front of it.
I like to think of
Um,
it as like when they're trying to get contact with it, and it's like when you plug in a flash drive and it's been named something, or when you're looking for a Wi-Fi channel, and like the name of it is just "Hey neighbor" in all caps. You've been
Oh,
shot
yeah.
down by "Hey neighbor."
Mm,
Yeah, hey neighbor is the spy one.
yeah. Um,
I think
oh,
I was thinking of that weird video game with the creepy neighbor, like
Oh
Hello
dear.
Neighbor or something.
oh yeah.
So I think I named it that as just a reference to
Just
it.
a reference.
Oh yeah, that evokes a very certain kind of feel. Evokes. All right, so Hey Neighbor is looking now, panning the streets, looking for more Tabukans. And very quickly, Kate is able to find along one of his suspected routes a small column of Tabukan forces a trio of grav tanks accompanied by 5 of the personnel carriers,
Goodness.
Wow.
and
Yeah.
they are caravanning down one of the streets. Seems like they are moving somewhat methodically. It's not like they're just barreling down the road. And they're on a course to intercept the original path of the Uralans in a couple of minutes. And he's going to be able to track them, and he can occasionally briefly switch to checking for nearby Tabukan drones if he's concerned about the Hey Neighbor being spotted. It's relatively safe given all of its stealthy modifications, but yeah, knows that they have other drones out and about.
Yeah, I guess he will switch it from detecting the Tabukans to trying to figure out if they're watching or looking for another drone in the air.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Go ahead and give me another notice with int check. And again, a
Notice.
+1 modifier.
Oop. Definitely not hitting enter again. It's kind of mediocre. I think I want to re-roll that, guys.
Wait and see if Ben says it
Up to you.
succeeds first.
I don't anticipate that succeeding, but
Sorry,
Ben?
Robert. That's the min-maxer in me. You do what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what I've said in the past about contested roles.
I think usually I had just been looking at the drone section previously based on what we were doing.
Yeah, I don't think it actually is a contested role.
Spotting a drone at observation range is wisdom notice skill check at difficulty 10. Close enough to engage a target, it is difficulty 8.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, those were the numbers I was trying to remember. Thank you.
Yep. No worries. I was trying to remember them too.
Yeah, and so this is the sort of thing where man, I'm trying to remember how I did it for the hide and seek checks, because for example, if I say, oh yeah, 8 is a failure, like, oh, so there's something there that's not an observation. You know, you know what I mean there. So
Yeah, I understand, which is part of why I was just automatically going. That's below a 10. I should probably just re-roll.
It's a per scene reroll. There's not too much harm in it.
yeah, there's not. I'd say the 8 does not detect any Tabukan drones.
Yeah, I just wanted that chance to see when that's there. Do you want me to still go with intelligence?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's even worse.
Ah, rip.
Yep.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So continues flying along, watching the Tabukans, and at the point where they were expected to intercept the Uralin path. Actually, slightly before. As the column turns a corner in an intersection, two more rocket fly down at the head of the column,
Oh
striking one of the grav
no!
tanks.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, we should be there.
Oh no.
And the response is fairly swift. Grav tank cannons start firing up into the nearby buildings where the shots originated, and a
Shoot.
barrage of heavy laser fire blankets both buildings from the multiple mounted emplacements on top of the grav tanks and the personnel carriers.
Ugh. Do kind of
Well, I
wish we
think I figured out why this place was smoking in our early scans.
Yeah. So, and the column has stopped. The personnel carriers are disgorging their troops.
How many do they each carry?
Doing a quick count as Cade is watching. He's able to see, it looks like each one of them was carrying approximately 15.
Oh,
You said there were 5?
Yes.
Oh boy.
That's 75 troops in case anybody was trying to do math, because I know I was.
And the troops split off into several groups that enter multiple of the nearby buildings. Does Cade still want to? Well, let me just put it this way: what does Cade want to do with the drone at this point? He's watching right now. He's watching the tanks and the personnel carriers. They've paused firing at the buildings for the moment, and there are large smoking holes in both buildings where rockets came from.
I think Cade will increase the distance but still keep the camera on them. Try to make it harder for them to figure out that there's a drone there, but also still figure out what they're doing.
So, what does he want to look? What does he want to look closest at? Does he want to try to look for any signs of movement in those buildings? Does he want to keep a closer eye on the armor column?
Guys, what do we want to know? The moves of the armored column, or what may be going on with the resistance members?
Ben, how many grav tanks in total did we count in the camp, or estimate?
You counted 12 that you could see.
Okay, so this
And
is
2 of them are here?
3 of them.
3 of them.
3. Okay. That's a 4th.
Yeah.
Oof. Hmm.
And you said about 200 soldiers, I think? Or did you give us a number on that?
Total soldiers. I may have told you that your best guess was at least 200.
Okay. Yeah, that number
Oof.
sticks in mind for some reason.
I don't think we could take 200.
Well, no, there's only going to be 125 at the camp at most.
Wait, are you thinking of attacking the camp?
Yes.
Oh man.
It's not a good idea, but we have 7 demo charges.
Aren't we supposed to be focusing on finding Boris?
Does make a point.
Yes.
We can't fight this for them. At least not with the numbers we have right now. Now, I am willing to bet that Boris might be with some Eurolan rebels, if we would like to try and find some that aren't being blown up. Any ideas on how to do that?
Kid will just look at Saoirse expectantly.
Oh, so now you want to hear what I have to say about what we should do.
And out comes the sass.
Yeah, so long as it's not abusing that drug.
Ah, says the
Me-
man who wants a rocket launcher on his next drone. Got it.
Me and Nick.
You don't
Me and
want a
Brother
rocket
Nick.
launcher on a drone?
Me and Brother Nick. Nero's desperately trying to interrupt this. Like, to the point where it's obvious she's just trying to interrupt it.
What about
I
you
was
and
just
Brother
being
Nick?
playful, Nero.
Okay. Well. But me and Brother Nick can look for them.
From what we've seen on the radio, those farther away from society have been last of all. What are the nearest locations we have that we could search out? Small villages, towns?
If they're still fighting here, he's probably close. Maybe in a different city or town. But within radio contact.
All right. Do you want to try and send some coded message? See if he'll meet up with you? Or are you going to go gallivanting around the side of the wild while me and Cade have bonding time? She's going to try and have a very flat expression when she says that, by the way. She's really curious to see what Nera's reaction would be to that.
Nero looks between the two of them. No, that's not a good idea.
I'm going to say in canon that Saoirse and Cade snorted at the exact same time.
Absolutely.
Victor speaks up and says, I think I'm coming too.
Oh my goodness.
We should get a lay of the land. I'd like to meet these Uralans.
See what? Well, who's going and who's staying? Or are we all going?
We should probably all keep sticking together.
Saoirse's gonna give a side-eye glance at Cade and kind of like wiggle her eyebrows like, did you catch that? We're not allowed to be left alone together.
I think I figured that out.
Saoirse's making a mental note to try and pick a fight with Cade about something really inane as soon as they make camp for the night and Nero is in earshot.
Oh no.
Looks like Saoirse has graduated to Space Sister, where now Cade and her fight, and Nero has graduated to being Space Mom, who makes peace.
That's the worst
No,
situation
no.
ever.
It's just all sibling pecking order.
Yeah, probably.
I think Brother Nick still has an elevated parental status.
Absolutely.
Yeah, old man powers.
Old man powers.
The patriarch.
Yes.
By the way, Ben, I'm sorry, can I take a quick break to just clarify how my biopsionics work?
Sure.
Okay. So my question I wanted to ask was about how I use up effort or commit effort with morphing into different people. So is it just that it's system strain or that it's effort?
So it requires one effort
Okay.
during the metamorphosis. So you get that back as soon as you switch it around. So you're
Okay.
basically actively committing one effort for each metamorph you're sustaining.
Okay.
And
So it's only for what's sustained.
however, the system strain, it applies one one new system strain each time you do a new metamorph to a person. And that particular latest bit of system strain cannot be recovered uh, until they revert to their normal form.
Isn't that the same as dropping the metamorph though?
Yes. I'm not sure.
Like that seems
What
to be the same mechanic as effort.
it's
Like you
not.
have it committed while you have the metamorph active, and then when you drop it, it's no longer there.
No, the system strain sticks around. It's just that
Okay.
it can't recover. It can't even begin to recover until you stop metamorphing.
Okay. And
But
so
if you,
it
for
takes
example,
time to recover system strain.
yeah, you get back one every night or something like that. So
Got you.
like her stunt the night before, where she ended up metamorphing maybe 3 different times over the course of the night. Um, each one of those added another system strain to her.
Okay. All right. I did keep track of that, but I didn't quite entirely understand.
Okay.
So I wanted to clarify. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I got you. You're welcome.
So basically, I have 6 out of 15 of my system strain right now.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. And then I have only one effort right now, which is probably Tom back on the ship, I'm guessing.
No, Tom is not being
Okay.
metamorphed.
All right. So
The
then I
one
have
that
0
you're
effort committed.
no, the one that you're committing right now
Oh, is my
um,
bio
is your
medicine?
own. Well, there's one for your own alteration that's encasing that vial in your arm,
Oh, that's right.
um,
That's right.
and then there's also uh, I don't know if you just leave your telekinetic armory on or not, but
Okay.
yeah, so just one for metamorphing is right now.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right. Sorry. Back to the main campaign. I just wanted to make sure I was understanding everything.
Yeah, that's all right. So back to the question at hand. Um, what does what is Cade focusing on at the moment with the drone?
I think we were trying to establish, did we want to watch the column or did we want to look for survivors in the buildings? And I think we got sidetracked.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, do we want to see if we can figure out if there are survivors in the buildings, or are we gonna watch the column instead?
Nero and my vote are both for survivors, and she'll justify it as Yeah, okay. We know they have an overwhelming response. We don't need to keep watching that. Let's follow the survivors if they survive.
Okay.
So
So
he'll shrug and focus on the buildings.
okay, for Robert then, for Cade, give me a notice check with int yet again.
Yeah. Do you want that to have a +1 or no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I might be slightly overusing notice this time, but you're doing a lot of looking.
The dice are rigged.
I'm looking. I'm looking.
Wow.
Um.
Almost every roll is low tonight except the 110 I got.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's affecting you too, but anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nothing that much has been high this time. All right.
And I use my
So.
reroll for the scene, so.
Mm-hmm. Kate is able to pretty quickly scan over the wreckage and the open, the gaping wounds in both buildings. Even before the foot troops get apparently very far into the buildings, and there's a significant amount of rubble. But what he finds is the fairly apparent remains of 2 Uralan troops, one with a rocket launcher in pieces near it, just one in each building, and doesn't find any other bodies apparently, and doesn't see either inside the buildings or near them signs of other Uralans.
Yeah, so they got him.
Can you repeat what you said? I was losing connection for a second.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
like the last sentence or two.
let's see, last sentence. What was the last thing you heard?
I don't ask me that, please.
Okay. um, just is he found one Uralan body in each building's rubble. One of them had a rocket launcher near it,
Okay, thanks.
and he saw nothing else.
Well, Cade, do you still want a rocket launcher?
Yeah, but I didn't want a broken one. What fun is that?
Oh, you get to fix it. It builds character. I know that's not something you're used to, though. I understand if it's intimidating.
Nero
Well,
starts
I break
watching
things
them.
more easily.
Ah, yeah. I've been made well aware of that.
Brother Nick could fix it, though. He starts looking thoughtful.
Does Brother Nick, is he looking over Cade's shoulder here at the footage?
Ah, yeah, Banjax, the rocket launcher is better than none.
Yeah, he'll give it a thoughtful look and say, be worth it for the ammo and whatever information the bodies might have on them.
Preferably after they, the Tabukans leave, but... Although, boss, I guess you could just pick it up and whack them with it, right? That's a good use.
I don't know. I might need a little bit of practice first. If you're standing up for the job, that is. she can wiggle her eyebrows at him, and using her telekinesis, she can pick it up.
I don't need a hamster ball, thanks.
I guess you don't need any more brain damage either, if I'm being fair. She'll go to chunk it back down behind Cade and it'll like kind of dip a little bit low towards his head and then yank back up so it doesn't actually hit him. And then she'll toss it in the rubble.
Oh well, thanks for not giving me more brain damage.
All right, so where to next? Do you want to try and figure out who these codgers were? She's like kind of glancing over the dead men, trying to see if there's any tags or looks like they might have anything on them.
Have we
Hmm.
are we at that location or?
No, you're at some distant location. I assume.
Dadgummit, I
Sumers
thought we
looking-
were there.
Oh,
Yeah.
You were making me very confused in this. I'm sorry. I really am not. My brain is like mush tonight, guys. I'm sorry.
No, I thought I missed something. I thought I zoned out for a second.
No, I'm the one who zoned out for a second. I'm very sorry.
No, you're
We're
good.
not there.
Fine.
So I'm looking.
you're looking at a data slab screen
Uh-huh.
where he's got the spy drone zoomed in on maybe one of these Uralin bodies, the one with the rocket launcher in pieces next
yeah.
to it,
Okay.
and unfortunately no name tag.
Oh, sorry.
Right. They're not that organized.
Did you say they're in a building?
The body is in rubble on that's now in the top couple of stories of a building that's currently several blocks away from where you guys are, and has recently been occupied by a couple dozen Tabukan troops at the lower floors. They just haven't gotten to the top yet. So yeah, imagine what a few rounds of grav tank cannon fire and a heavy dose of laser fire would do to the top corner of a regular building. And yeah, there's a body left in the remains of that.
And there's no more surrounding troops, or are they still in the area?
Cade, looking with the observation drone, was not able to find any other Uralans. There's a lot of rubble, but he can only account for 2 Uralan bodies.
And what time of day is it now? We're running around.
It is. It's now about 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, it's still pretty early.
Yeah. Still pretty
Thank
dark.
you. So Jackie, the 17-year-old who is living with us right now, just bebopped out of the bathroom back to their room, and I looked over at her and she was saying something, so I took my headset off, and she just goes, "Your accent is great, by the way," and was like, "Oh, shucks."
Cute.
Made me happy.
Oh. So you're thinking of anything that you want us to be doing here, Ethan, or are we just laying low?
It'll be good to check out those bodies, and I was thinking if we'd gone on towards later in the day, we could have the excuse at least of ducking in the building to not break curfew.
Hmm. Okay. Are you? What are you wanting to get out of checking out the bodies?
Hopefully whatever they might have on them, any intel, phone, some kind of communicator back to any rebel group. Seems like they're connected with somebody to have a rocket launcher. Oh, and the broken rocket launcher. That's a nice grab, at least for the missile. That's some extra firepower to try, IEDing a grav tank.
Well, it's mm, I'd say let's check in on it with the drone before we trek over there, because the Tabukans entering that building may clean them out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and should note that if Brother Nick is taking a look through the drone, give me a fix check from Brother Nick.
So to examine how busted the.
Mm-hmm. And possibly something else. Okay. So he has Cade pan over very carefully the rocket launcher, looking as close as he can. And the surroundings, he doesn't see any signs of extra missiles lying about in the open anyway. And the Roland doesn't seem to have any pack on him. And best that Brother Nick can tell, the rocket launcher was blown apart, probably internally.
Oh, that's
Which
interesting.
He was probably
Maybe
loading
it's a
another
one
rocket.
shot.
Nah, he was probably loading in another
No.
rocket when it got exploded.
Ah,
Yeah.
very technical term.
Explodorated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had to go from churlish to
Yeah.
got to keep the
We have a
average
reputation. Reputation we gotta blow up. Explodorate, if you will. Thank you, Ethan. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, it seems like Nero stumbled on the exact correct term for what happened to that thing.
You know what? I'd like to think that is a word that Nero says.
Yeah. It's canon now, so.
Yep. Too late. So yeah, and I guess Brother Nick's professional opinion would be that the wreckage of the rocket launcher would be only marginally helpful in
Yeah.
jerry-rigging some sort of launcher together. But it's not in any sort of state that he could actually repair a launcher reliable enough to use more than a couple times.
Maybe we could rig it up into a trap.
And while Kate is watching, or I guess while whoever is watching the drone, they see several Tabukan troops enter the rubble section and start picking through.
Oh, there goes that plan. Someone beat us to it.
And after some time, the Tabukans, they you watched as they searched the body. Seemed to have found nothing actually on the person, and carted them
Did
away
like the
on a stretcher.
Tabukans not like find any ID or like typical effects you'd find on a person?
It actually didn't look like it. You were watching very closely with your high-tech observation suite, and
Well, Cade will look over when he realizes this to Saoirse. I'll say, "Hey, boss, look at this." And he'll quick scrub back a couple seconds as they're like frisking the body and just coming up with nothing. And he'll
mhm.
point out and say, "They can't find anything on this. You think this was an ambush with a plant? Was this actually a person who died in the attack, or is this fake?"
Well, let's keep watching. Might be a trap.
We should be there.
Saoirse's gonna give Nero actually like a really serious look. And what help do you think we'd be to two corpses?
Nara doesn't say anything, but her eyes say enough. She lets him fall, and the fire just falls from her stance.
We can try and help when we'll actually be of help, but right now, the best thing we can do is stay alive until we find Boris, and Boris will know what to do.
She nods.
She's also secretly hoping that Boris isn't just a useless old man who's like, let's get the heck out of here.
Yeah, we need to not be on the street anymore.
What's useless about wanting to get out of an active war zone? That's what I want to know.
It's just not useful to ending the war.
Oh, true.
Yep.
Quite true. I can't find a good picture to represent this, but when Dex, when you mentioned that, I just pictured like Cade, Brother Nick, Saoirse all gathered around looking closely at the tablet here, and then Nero like on her tiptoes, like behind and kind of peeking in between them, like we should be there, and then pacing around and then coming and doing it again, like we should be there. Every time they say something, it's like, oh man, we can't see such and such, or oh, we can't tell this, that, or the other. She just comes back from her pacing and like interjects. Uh, but yeah, they as you're watching the proceedings, the Tabukans cart off both the bodies. Uh, they they left the scraps of the rocket launcher, and they they file out of the buildings, headed back towards the column of waiting vehicles. In the meantime, they've rearranged the column a bit, and they've got one of the personnel carriers hitched to the lead grav tank, which does not seem in great shape. There are a couple blackened holes in the upper hull of the tank, and as the column sets out, it's being towed.
Mm.
And for the bodies, the uh, the Tabukans load them up on one of the personnel carriers, and the the entire thing turns back around and to the heads back in the direction of the military camp.
Oh
So,
man.
uh, at this point, the morning has gotten on a couple hours. You're approaching mid morning, and the building that you're hiding out in is does not seem to be getting visited by anyone.
Hmm.
Looks like it's some sort of storefront that shop is closed down for now.
How long does it look like it's been closed down?
Give me a notice check, Saoirse.
Okay.
And
Where's
are
the one time I leave Discord open versus the Roll20? Okay, 1 second. I was
and
like, I keep missing out. All right, a
al-
notice check.
also of
Oh.
relevance, are there any snacks in this store?
Yeah, I was gonna ask what kind of shop
Oh
is it?
no.
Okay.
Does it sell Twinkies?
It does not sell Twinkies. In fact, it's a clothing store.
Ah, they don't have anything like up at the front. There's always candy at the front.
It's not always Twinkies.
It looks like
Nara's
that was
gonna
all.
eat anything right now.
It looks like whatever foodstuffs they might have had at at the checkout line has been cleared out.
Yeah, it got looted.
Oh, so is
Saoirse's
this,
not really sure how long it's been.
is it open? Like the windows have been bashed in or something?
No. I glossed over this detail, but Nero let yourselves in. It doesn't seem like it's been. It's not like there's a thick coating of dust on everything. But so it's really hard to say how long it's been closed. But you do know that the invasion happened close to 3 weeks ago, or began close to 3 weeks ago. So you're just based on what you're seeing, it's pretty reasonable that it probably closed down sometime in that window.
Gotcha. Is the stuff in here like typical you're all in fashion? And I ask because I think we're still in Tabukan clothing.
Yeah, I think we are.
Well, Naro's in her normal getup. The one that she
Okay,
is.
it's definitely a Tabukan garb though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are in a.
And fashionable.
And then I
Sorry,
guess
Ben, what'd you
for
say?
no, you're good. I guess for Brother Nick and Saoirse, it's kind of up to y'all if they're wearing their original out of towner type clothes or if they're wearing their Tabukan stuff. But it seems like fairly generic fashion. It doesn't seem like it's anything that's strikingly you're all in.
But it's a lot more neutral than Tabukan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely so.
No bright reds and
Mm-hmm.
elaborate embroidery.
Yeah, it's a far cry from what Cade has been accustomed to wearing.
Well, the thought to change his outfit probably would not occur to him.
Yeah, does the crew want to kind of hang out in the closed clothing store for most of the day, or what time of day are you wanting to do your mingling?
Mm.
What do you say? Early morning, or yeah, early morning, like
Yeah,
11.
you're at mid morning. Yeah.
Yeah. We just wanted to wait out the worst of the Tabukans hunting down their aggressors, and that seems to have occurred already.
Mm-hmm.
Were you having a comment there, Danielle?
I think that Saoirse would be interested in possibly getting a rest there. I don't know if that makes sense, but she'd be wanting to stay there as long as they could, essentially. But yeah, when she sees everyone else kind of making moves to get up, then she'll get up as well, though maybe a little begrudgingly.
Yeah, she knows that she's feeling. She's starting to feel the effects of, you know, I guess spike drill lag or whatever you'd call that, combined with having been up and going for longer than normal.
Right.
Nero is feeling some of the effects of that herself too.
How long has it been since we left the ship?
Since you left the ship, it's been probably about 18, 20 hours, something along those lines. So almost a full day.
Okay. Saoirse, when everyone gets up to go, will actually sort of quietly just suggest that they stay here for the night.
But for the day.
Maybe for the day, yeah. Just to sleep and rest. Though she seems unsure about it, so if somebody made an argument that they needed to keep moving, she'd probably acquiesce.
Nero argued.
What would she think to suggest, or Nero think to suggest that Kay dress in something less Tabukan?
Yeah, that
Because
might
he could
stand
be
out to
shot by
somebody.
Uralans.
Yeah.
Saoirse would definitely say something before they left. Saoirse's miss always shopping for outfits for people.
Yeah, as Cade walks past in his brightly colored Tabukan clothes, walks past a display of fairly drab, V-necks. Just like, wait a second.
Oh no.
Hey Cade.
Huh?
Hey, how ya? Listen, I'm not trying to... Oh, I'm not trying to lash at you, but I'd really prefer if we didn't have a bunch of Uralans gawking at your fancy suit when we do finally run into them. You don't exactly look like friend there.
Oh, really? Kind of looked down at himself. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, you are wearing pretty classic Tabukan garb, which may be seen as not welcome here in these invasion territory, whatever. I'm so sorry, I'm quite knackered. Listen, you're a bright red bird, and we're trying to stay incognito, I believe is the word. And it'd just be real grand if you wouldn't mind changing your outfit. Plus, you're getting a bit manky, don't you think? You're smelling from here. I think I can smell you.
I bathe at least as often as you. But he will go looking for if there is any nicer clothing here, even if it is generic and drab.
He's able to find. There's a dress that what seems to him like kind of dressier clothing. It's he's aware of kind of the standard Terran mandate type of formal wear, and so he can find an outfit like that.
Okay, he'll find something like that, and I guess in more subdued colors, but still not he'll add a splash of color to it if he can figure out a way. Whether it's like a pocket square or something, he'll find some color to it.
Does he want to go for a suit jacket as well? What I'm saying is kind of quote unquote standard Terran mandate, old fashion, is
Yeah.
what we would recognize as modern fashion.
Yeah, he would probably go for a suit coat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he knows from the weather he's experienced here so far, he probably won't regret that choice. As far as comfort goes.
Whew.
Right. So
When
No.
Saoirse sees he's all dressed up like that, she's gonna look down at his shoes, the dress shoes he has on. You fancy that'll help you leg it when we run into enemy Tabukans?
But tennis shoes don't go with these clothes.
Nero scoffs.
She's gonna give him like an even look. Listen, if you're scared of looking a Jackie and you're out here trying to live, and I don't think that your fashion reputation ought to be on the top of your list.
Victor
But they
laughs.
don't. He he looks over at the shoe rack and just rolls his eyes like there's. Looks back like there's nothing over there.
Oh, Squeaking and Mara, listen to me. I don't want it to be a holy show of it when the Tabukans find your gunned body down because you got dress shoes on. Can you just... How about we take a pair just in case, okay? Not saying your outfit has to be a Hames, I'm just saying that maybe you need something a bit more, I don't know, functional. And I would just think that's grand if you would
I'm
maybe
hungry.
just consider taking an extra thought onto whether or not your shoes are fit for helping you run for your life.
Nero
He'll
looking between the two of them,
grab-
seeing if her interruption had any effect, and it did not.
he'll like walk over and see whatever like the fanciest sort of almost running shoe, but they're definitely a dress shoe still.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, those dress shoes that are made to be like running shoes for those picky kids. He'll
Oh.
pick something like that and just put it in his bag with a look of, oh, how I suffer. Okay, I have a pair of shoes.
Saoirse will look at the shoes that he was trying on, give it a low whistle, and she'll be like, all right, how's she cutting? And she has a very expectant look on her face, like she expects an answer to that.
They're okay, I guess.
See? Did that hurt your pride too much, Prince?
I guess I can get away with it. There's no paparazzi or anything like that here.
I promise not to post any pictures online. She says, crosses her
I'm not
heart,
sure
puts
I
a hand up.
believe you.
When he turns to walk away, she will take a picture with her tablet.
Did she
But
remember to turn the camera sound?
The shutter noise off, she never has it on. But she's going to send it to the group message later.
now that the
Shoe shopping is done with.
well, now that there's no risk of Saoirse and Cade going at each other again, Nero says again, a little bit less urgently, I'm hungry.
Saoirse will kind of scoff a little bit. Well, I guess we ought to take care of that then. She's gonna look around and see if there's any kind of entrance to like a back room, like a employees break room sort of situation.
Yeah, let's search this this Ross dressed for more.
Oh no.
What were you looking for?
It should be called boss if it's not if it's dressed for more.
It should be.
I was just asking, what were we searching for?
Like an
Nero's looking for
employees
food.
only room.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I mean there is one.
Can we go in?
Yes, you may go in.
Cool. We're going to be
mean,
looking for like
You're not
some
allowed
sort
to
of
go in, but you may
fridge.
go
Oh my word.
in.
We all feel a deep burning anguish in our souls that we have done something so
Yes.
terrible.
You have violated the rules of Boss Dress for More, as posted on the door. You do find a refrigerator.
Shoot.
Is it powered?
It is actually.
Oh, thank goodness. Was having flashbacks to sometimes when we've lost power after a hurricane.
Yeah.
Our food is just manky.
Oh.
All right.
Gotta be awful.
It is pretty terrible. Yeah. All right. So the fridge is on. Saoirse is going to start rifling through it and tell Nero to look through the pantry.
Yep. He's on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see then. From both of you. No, this is not that difficult.
What?
Oh, I was debating a skill check. I was like, no, that doesn't. There's no point. There's no time pressure here either. So
For raiding the kitchen? Yeah.
yeah. So as you're both alternately digging through the refrigerator and also the pantries, you cobble together an assortment of sauces and some only mildly expired goods,
Only mildly expired goods.
miscellaneous fixings, and a like pretty simple lunches, and one container of very expired leftovers.
Mm.
Also find some coffee mix and a couple of prepackaged pastries. And a whole bunch of plasticware.
I think Nero is munching on the pastries as she searches for more food.
Mm-hmm. Sounds accurate.
But yeah, that is the extent of what you find. Well, except for an exploded drink in the freezer.
Oh no. Saoirse's gonna look at the name and she's just gonna be like, right, I don't know who Paul is, but he'll to lose his job for that race. That or this was his 2 weeks notice, I'm not sure. All right, so we found food. Cool. Are we eating?
Yes.
Everyone?
Is Nero sharing pastries?
Yeah, she will.
Okay. Yeah, there's.
I'm assuming we packed.
Yeah, you guys have rations. Some pretty standard spacefarer dehydrated stuff, comparable to MREs.
Yeah, that's why Nero wanted food.
Yeah, and you can make the bread is borderline, but you can make some sandwiches.
Okay, we make sandwiches. Cool. Saoirse will hand out sandwiches to people.
Are we really camping here all day and then all night?
Saoirse's gonna look at her for a second and then just say, "We at least need to camp here long enough to rest."
But then it'll be curfew.
All right. How
Do you,
about we eat?
do you need
And
rest?
yes, I do, Nero, like a normal human being. Well, I know I'm not a normal human being, but still, this is what I hear normal human beings need.
Can't you just psychic yourself up?
Saoirse is going to give her the most deadpan look that she can muster while trying not to scream. That isn't how it works. I am so sorry to have to inform you.
Nero kind of thinks of she's thinking about that for a second, and then kind of shrugs a little and goes back to munching.
Saoirse is going to try and figure out how much time they have before curfew. Is that something that she would know what
Yeah.
the curfew is and stuff?
Yeah, you've still got about 8 hours.
Okay. And how far do we need to go today?
Where are you trying to get to before curfew?
Great question.
I oh, go ahead,
If
Nathan.
you let me actually walk that back a second uh, and ask a different question. So you don't know exactly where you want to go right now. You have maybe a couple theories of where you could potentially go, but you really just want to ask around
Yes.
and try to
Right.
find out more about the Uralans and maybe get some clues. Um, try to make yourselves known somewhat to the Uralans enough that maybe if the resistance goes looking for you, they can find people who spoke to you or saw you or something. Am I getting the gist of it right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's not worry about specific time and distance and stuff yet, and just uh, talk broad strokes. Um, what kinds of places you want to go to talk to people? If there are any specific subsets of people you want to target specifically, or if you just want to try to generally cast your net far and wide.
Nero has an answer for both of those.
Okay.
Places with food and people who
Hmm.
sell food.
I actually don't have much of a problem with that because those are places that Uralans are also going to be.
Mhm.
Something that we all have in common is the need for food.
Okay. Mhm. Does she hear any objections to that logic?
Nope.
Saoirse would tell the rest of the group she actually does agree with Nero on that one.
Nero has the smallest, smuggest little smile. It's just like barely smug, barely there, but it's very smug.
All right then. Give me a connect check, and I also need a survive check. And these can be done by whoever in the group.
I can do the survive check.
Yeah, I thought we had someone.
I can
Me.
assist with survive.
Okay.
In game, I like to think that that's Cade actually helping her do something, which she is surprised at. But for once in the entire terrible day they've had, she shuts up.
I mean, he has a +2 in it.
Yeah, she will accept the help. Survival help is important.
Okay. Yeah, so they end up with a 10 together. That's a success. All right, so Saoirse is looking at a map, trying to put together what she can about what places might still have food and be selling it. And Cade pitches in with some of his input, some of his observations from when he and Brother Nick came into the city the first day. He had made a point to notice some of those details about when people were carrying groceries and stuff like that. And you're able to pick a couple of likely locations, little areas where there may still be a supermarket or something with supplies that they're selling.
I guess we're lucky we're not in the capital.
Yeah, you're generally both of you have seen that while there is still, there's still been foot traffic and occasional, ground car traffic as well. The normal routines of the city are definitely majorly disrupted.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not sure exactly what to expect when you get to uh, whatever places are still selling food. Um, but you also know that the city didn't fully rely on
The
the
temples.
so there's a good chance that there was some underlying infrastructure that may have survived. So, uh, with that, and also Brother Nick's uh, careful questioning and presenting yourselves as non-threateningly as possible.
Are we together as a group when he does that, or is this Brother Nick off on his own?
I believe you guys had decided you wanted to stick together.
Nero
Yeah.
wanted to stay together.
Yeah. And so he, of course, he made sure that everyone was made sure to remind everyone you're all on the same page that weapons are stowed, nothing is visible. Was his recommendation in this endeavor to endear yourselves to the Uralans and make sure that you can get the information you need, present the image that you want, and you find a supermarket that has a decent line out the front of the building. It's not like wrapped around multiple times or anything, but there are the line does extend outside the building, and you watch and see that there are people leaving with small amounts of uh, groceries. Apparently, nothing crazy. So there seems to be some sort of
Maybe a limit.
control on limit on how much everybody can buy.
Nero, I need you to prepare yourself for the fact that there might not be Twinkies here.
Why wouldn't there be Twinkies?
Well, it's kind of an active war zone.
Nobody else eats Twinkies.
Right, fair.
I say there's another fairly inconvenient fact that Nero might be forgetting, but Saoirse probably knows already. Eh, Well, I'll just say it.
Thank you.
The fact that the only place you guys have ever found Twinkies was on Tabuk or Tabukan ships.
Yeah.
Well, then Saoirse would also point that out to Nero. And she'll kind of look around and then she'll say it very hushed into Nero's ear.
Because Saoirse's been around enough to know that those are a novelty. Nero might have thought, oh, I just hadn't run across them yet.
Mhm.
But no, Saoirse knows for sure.
Those are cakes of the enemy. So don't be asking for any. Just see if they have anything, I don't know, similar.
I'll find something.
Saoirse just kind of nods. All right.
So was Nero told to take the stigmatons off her hips? I believe he had said that those were okay last time, but she still would if she was told to.
Yeah, those are okay. I guess what I will say is that Brother Nick's impression of wanting to try to appear as friendly as possible and get the information that you're looking for, that his assessment would probably be that no visible weapons would be helpful.
Alright, well.
I shouldn't speak for him and say that he would have told Nero that. I may have phrased that poorly before. What would Brother Nick have told the group, given that gut feeling of his?
Yeah, I think he'd pass that along.
Saoirse shrugs about it. Doesn't really make a difference to her. If Nero seems hesitant, Saoirse will point out that she has a couple of blades in her arms that she can pop out at any moment, or her fists themselves are great weapons.
Sword is a lot more fun.
Saoirse gives her a really deadpan look. She's like, listen, I'm getting real tired of this look on my face. Can you just do us a favor? Stuff them in your socks or something?
The sword's
take
in
'em
my
back out later.
backpack. I'll put the baton there too.
Ah, good. See, they can keep each other company. It will be grand.
And the knife?
Especially the knife, Nero.
Nero puts the knife in the backpack also. She just doesn't say anything after that.
So you find the sword more fun than the arm blades that you have? Victor seems a little taken aback by that.
Buyer's remorse, I'm sure. Saoirse's just like tapping away on her comm pad. She's not really paying attention.
I like the arm blades for the surprise.
Huh, you should shoot confetti out of them too while you're at it.
Brother Nick gives that a considering. I mean, sorry, Victor gives that a considering nod.
Confetti would jam them up.
But where would
I
she keep the confetti, boss?
don't know. It's a pretty good idea, though, ain't it? Saoirse just kind of like
It looks
puts her hands up
speculative.
and goes, "Ta-da! You're dead." She laughs to herself, even if no one else is laughing. She's like, "Oh, I'm hilarious."
The arm blades are more fun. You're right, but they're still dangerous for other people to know I have them.
It's like the surprise of a surprise. She only saves it for special occasions.
And then Nero will go into some kind of scenario she's now picturing in her head where they're confronting, and it just happens to be Esteban, the guy in the club, and they're surrounded, and the Esteban, whatever his name was.
I like to think that's exactly how Nero calls him.
Yeah, she's just calling him Esteban
whatever
now.
his name was.
And Esteban's men are surrounding us, and they think they have the advantage, so they just throw down all their guns. And surprise, arm blades, shink shink, 4 people are dead.
Saoirse's gonna look around, and she wants to know if any of the Uralans are listening. Anyone in line is listening to this at all.
Depends on if you were taking measures not to be overheard at all.
I mean, Saoirse had tried to be quiet, but she doesn't know if that's what. If like Nero's voice was getting, maybe I don't know if you want Nero to make a roll for like.
I imagine somebody shushed her. like maybe Brother Nick or Victor maybe gave her the keep it down hand motion.
Saoirse goes, "See? Surprise! You're dead."
And Nero grins a little. Yeah, the arms are fun.
Yeah, Victor, he would chuckle and then kind of catch himself and then say to Saoirse, should we be joking about killing people on a peace-loving planet? He
I
kind
don't
of
know.
looks around at the nearby people who don't seem to have taken any special notice yet. Other than, of course, having acknowledged your arrival. Brother Nick. He's much more emphatic. Victor looks at Brother Nick and nods. Yes, I thought so.
Saoirse's gonna look at Nero and say, "See, this is why I needed to rest."
Just spittle flying, the shushing almost as loud as the quiet talking was before.
"I'm sorry, Grandpa. We'll be quieter."
Nero bounces in place a couple times. I get anxious when I'm hungry.
I just realized the GIFs you posted, Ethan. The other I'm doing all I'm thinking is Bartok from Anastasia, and then I kick her, sir.
Yeah. That.
Oh my goodness. All right, so Saoirse's going to acquiesce to Brother Nick. She'll have given him a wink and she'll have lowered her voice. Apologies. I'll only joke about killing folks in this tone from now on. She gives a thumbs up.
Oh.
I mean, I kick her, sir. Yeah.
That character made the movie.
Bartok was formative of my sense of humor as a child.
That explains a lot.
It should. my family would literally listen to stand-up comedy on our radio versus music. So
Oh.
if I'm
Oh,
sick in the
dear.
head, it's totally their fault. I can't help it. I say everything for maximized comedic effect.
You are what you hear. Like that. All right.
And yes,
so-
Nero did steal all of her weapons.
Saoirse would root around in her bag and find one of the handful of Twinkies she had shoved in there before they left the ship, and she'd pass it over to Nero.
Her eyes brighten, and she tears into the packaging. With her mouth full. Thank you.
Saoirse just has a contented smile. Just nods.
Alright, so how do we make out at this grocery store?
All right.
No
Well-
PDA involved, sir.
I was just wondering.
It's a family-friendly stream.
Yeah, that's things just escalated very quickly here.
It was one Twinkie, Nero. Calm down.
The
Control yourself.
establishment's proprietors do not seem interested in any such bribery.
Uh,
All jokes
fantastic.
aside, now, so as you're waiting in line, notice Brother Nick is he moves up and down the line just a bit, just making conversation, and you'll notice some sympathizing expressions and some kind of encouraging looking expressions and some patting of backs and shaking of hands. And looks like Brother Nick is working his magic on these people.
Ethan, you know who your character actually makes me think of, Loki?
Uh,
Uncle Eero from Atla.
Mm. True. So, Brother Nick asks about. He asks around a little bit, looking for someone who I don't know exactly how he would phrase it, but he pries a little bit, looking for somebody who's familiar with the local broadcasts and might have some spare, some parts to spare, maybe some knowledge to share on getting a little hobby setup done. Uses the kinds of phrases that he expects might register as more significant with the right ears. And there's one person who, hearing him ask something about that,
Ethan, I really have to be careful when I'm checking the Discord because pretty much every time you have posted a GIF, I don't see it until later and I choke laughing about it. I'm so sorry. It's just too disruptive to the game. Oh man. Sorry. I've interrupted you, Ben.
that's all right.
You're being disruptive.
I was thinking that, but I wasn't gonna say it. No, as Brother Nick's heading back towards the group, one person comes up and catches his sleeve and says quietly, you should ask for an Eric Swanson and ask around this address. Same kind of questions you were just using, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And tucks a little folded piece of paper into his hand as they shake it and give him a smile. Head back into the line. Written on the paper is just an address for somewhere that plugging in you can find is just a few blocks away. And so that is the fruit of Brother Nick's use of his connected focus there.
Woohoo! Yay!
So this person will have some ability to do you a favor related to your radio broadcasts concern. And as far as the supermarket itself, do you go all the way in the line and you ask for you come up to a point where you're basically asked what kinds of goods you're here to shop for, and they basically ask food and necessities or um, everything else. And you can see it seems like the line for food and necessities is going past where they're basically handing out a set amount of stuff, um, and checking out all at one place. Everybody else is being basically led into the other half of the store.
Hmm. Well, we know that Nero wants food.
True.
You do. So yeah, you can go on through, and if you go for food, you end up with for each of you that wants to go through there, you can get about 2 days worth of food,
Okay.
and it runs you about 100 credits, or it's going to run you about 100 credits. Now it
That's
seems
fair.
like fairly fresh food, nothing fancy, but noticeably better than your prepackaged meals.
That's for all of us, right? Not each.
No, that's each.
Oh wow,
Oh yeah.
that is a
Wartime
lot.
inflation.
Yep. Yeah.
Did we find any kind of snacky cake things for Nero?
Yeah, there was one for each day included with those.
Oh really?
Well, you know what
Oh,
she's eating first.
those will be gone within the hour. They had something called ho-hos. We're not sure what it is.
Oh no.
Oh,
And Nero's
man.
over here. I can tell you what they are. They're delicious. I want more.
Oh, that's what those are.
Have you ever heard of gancitos?
Sounds familiar.
So it's a Mexican thing, but it literally is a cake with like jam and marshmallow, and then they cover it in chocolate.
Oh my goodness.
Aw.
Yeah.
I'm
What do you-
oddly weird. I don't like fruit flavoring in my non-candy sweets.
It's a snack cake. So.
Yeah, and so that's a non-candy sweet. Like I
Mhm.
love cherry and
Interesting.
watermelon like candies, but put it in pastry and I don't want it.
Unfortunate.
I know. Very restrictive.
They also have bimbo cakes. Fun
Apple
fact.
fritters would be delicious without the apple.
Oh my word.
It's the worst name for a bakery.
Bimbo? Yeah. Yep.
We got our buns at Chick-fil-A from them, and I was never ready for that at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Hey boss, we got the bimbo truck out back. Tell them this
Oh
is a
my.
Christian establishment for the last time.
Oh my goodness, I might make an exception for some unicorn sparkling strawberry cakes.
My word. I got like 4 boxes of those for Hannah's birthday party coming up. Dead serious. But it is a unicorn birthday party, so.
Oh, that fits.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh goodness! I just noticed the time. It's already
Yeah, I
11:30.
was gonna say
Yes.
something about it.
Yeah.
Actually.
So was I.
We were just having too much fun with snack cakes.
Apparently.
Oh, that's completely on brand for us. Just kidding. I was gonna say something about us getting off in the weeds, and then I was like, nope, that's accurate. That's definitely what we would be doing.
Mhm.
Oh. Now, didn't we come here for more than just radio communications? Not to try and extend us out, but I just want to make sure that we don't lose track of that also. Because we came here for food, but also to try and connect with the resistance. Or was the radio parts achieving that?
So the
Yeah.
radio part is, I'd say, related, but
Related.
also additional. So
Mm.
his connect check with a 15 is what I was judging as his work to try to connect with the Uralin people and put out feelers for um, whatever resistance there is, whatever connection these people might have to it. And
Yeah, I guess the radio is my focus. Is that the level 2 one?
yeah, that's the level 2 one. So you requested someone, decided when and where, um, and I'll decide the extent to which they'll be able to help you. Um, and so yeah,
Okay. Cool. Just wanted to
I'd
make
say
sure
that it
that didn't get lost in the snack shuffle.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
It's-
figuring this is probably a slow game. So, like I said earlier, he didn't, or this is building up a web of connections.
Well, we might not have time for web work, but
Oh, okay, so maybe yeah, some quick guilt check kind of working.
Yeah, he's trying to do it on a shorter time frame than he would probably like to. He'd prefer to have time to establish rapport and to know some people and uh, establish a group of people that he knows he can trust.
yeah.
But
If
given the time frame, he's trying to move more quickly than that.
and if
So
you oh, sorry, I thought you were done.
no, just almost. So that was part of the reason for picking a kind of a hub where there'd be a decent number of people, so he could try to connect with as many as possible in a short time, get his face out there, and drop the right kinds of questions and kind of hints that anybody who's listening for that sort of thing, or asking around later about those kinds of people would be fairly likely to put 2 and 2 together. Okay, now I'm done.
Okay, and I'll note for you, Ethan, that if Brother Nick needs, if you think Brother Nick needs any push to be swifter, there will be Nero trying to encourage that that this needs to be done. We need to get all this quickly.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I was thinking there's the mechanical stuff, but that may just be my focus that needed that. I think level 1.
Sorry,
Oh,
my
yeah,
brain
the-
was. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say what you're thinking of, Ethan, is the level 1 connected thing where
Yeah, to get the small favors, but yeah, I guess my normal connected things can.
yeah, you're still able to do the once per game day, some sort of modest favor type thing that's a little bit more in my hands than the other. Yeah. So I think that brings us to a good stopping point. Everyone can take 1 XP for the session.
Woo!
Are we gonna skip faves today?
I'd rather not.
I've got mine ready.
them out pretty quick though. Let's go ahead and get yours then, Dex.
Saoirse trying to figure out how to goad Nero into intervening between Saoirse and Cade.
Oh dear.
That was fun.
Saoirse is hoping that at some point Cade will catch on and help her with that.
So I didn't quite process the first part of it. Who was goading her into intervening?
Saoirse was trying to goad Nero into intervening when it seemed like Saoirse and Cade were fighting, or about to start fighting.
Got you. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about all the yawns. Wow, they're it's like I've been saving them up.
That's alright.
Better
That's
late than never.
you're just
Coming
getting
out of
older,
space.
man. It's okay.
Fair. All right, next. Robert.
The byplay surrounding Saoirse versus Cade and Nero's interference was great. I also liked being able to get into a little drone combat and destroy their drone. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. It was a nice shot too.
Oh yeah.
Thanks. Got lucky, I think.
You didn't. You rolled a 5. But the damage roll was good.
I mean, I guess it did.
Yeah. All right. Ethan.
Thinking getting to use my maxed out connect now. That was fun.
Oh man. Brother Nick magic. The spirit of Christmas transcended upon the line of your Rollins.
+4 with 3d6 drop 1.
Oh man. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, that is. And you did you almost rolled your max roll there with that 15.
Yeah. It's a good roll.
Oh, all right, Danielle.
So it was going to be Saoirse trying to convince Cade to change into like shoes he could actually use in an active ward zone.
Mm-hmm.
but then I think it might have been the entire group conversation happening outside of the grocery store in line. Like that was magic. So I think the grocery store line was great, especially Brother Nick just being like
Those
so
are
like
good
like
too.
ting, ting, you're dead. And it's like surprise, you're dead. Surprise, you're dead is probably my favorite line of tonight.
Yeah.
Also,
Um,
yeah, I don't know. It was just fun getting to have Saoirse ramble because she's so tired. So just like, you should go ahead and put, confetti cannons in your arms. So when they're, like she's just making crap up for the sake of getting a reaction.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
oh wow, Happy Dragon is great. But anyway, yeah. So the concept, like the whole like Nero getting super pumped describing this whole scene with Esteban, and then like it's like we're on Urala, the peace-loving planet, and we're trying not to draw attention to ourselves. And Brother Nick, poor Brother Nick, trying to like connect with people. It's just like, are you trying to make my job impossible? Like, are you trying? Like
Yeah.
deeply regretting. The regret grows that he didn't leave us all at the shop. This way into town.
Mm-hmm.
The grandpa who agreed to one too many grandchildren to follow him to the store.
Yeah. I was actually reminded as I was thinking about mine that there is one role that I need from all of you right here at the end that I got distracted from by the late time. I
Oh
just need
no.
everyone to make a physical saving throw.
Except Nero, right?
Except Nero.
Okay.
Is it
Physical
because of
saving throw.
is it because of the atmosphere?
No.
Food?
Okay. I succeeded.
Wait,
What?
that's a single physical saving throw.
Oh man. Um.
What is this about?
Yeah,
What does this
so
mean?
on leaving the supermarket, uh, Brother Nick starts feeling not so great. Starts not feeling so well to his stomach.
Something with the food.
Is it because we ate the expired food?
Yes. Um,
Saoirse will very quickly wheel him over to a local like an open trash can. She'll just kind of like as he's retching, she'll like kind of pull some of his beard hair back out of the way.
yeah, so the um, sorry to drop that on you right at the last second of the session, but
That's a hilarious way to end the session.
Ugh.
everybody's now, checking. Whoa, how do I feel? Am I okay? I I'm definitely having a hard time thinking of a favorite though. I definitely liked the I don't know how to describe it, but the tension of the crew trying to decide how to intervene and whether to intervene with the whole cat and mouse between Ural and Tabukans.
Oh.
Oh no. Oh dear.
Yeah. That tension was fun.
Yeah, I think it was also interesting because we obviously were not fans of the situation that Ural is in, but we we have a varying like how do I put it? Like we were kind of all over the spectrum of how we felt we ought to respond to it in the moment. Because our number one priority is trying to find Boris. And as unfair as it is to like see the Uralans being outmatched by the Tabukans, the 4 of us are not going to make that big of a difference. So I think it's like, oh, we see it happening right this second, but we don't have the resources planet side to really make a difference yet. So I don't know.
Nero is what's a good way to put? I want to say eaten a lot of her misgivings. She's just kind of swallowing that's it. She's just swallowing a lot of her own misgivings and her wants in a lot of this, and just being like, well, boss says we do it differently.
Saoirse's really going to regret allowing Cade to continue calling her boss if Nero starts calling her boss.
Oh no, Nero won't.
So for a second, I thought you were saying that Nero is like stress eating to compensate for her
Inability
her-
to act.
yeah, her forced inaction with the Uralans. But you just meant she's stuffing those things down and not letting those feelings surface. And
Yeah, she's basically just like she's
I think
bleh.
swallowing
Too
this
soon.
is a good way to put it.
Oh no, what now? Oh.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That is hilarious to me. I forgot you were sick recently.
That was the start of my week 2 weeks ago. So yeah, no thanks.
Barf.
Oh man.
So sorry.
Yep,
At least
I'm good.
At least you weren't eating unicorn cakes to go with it.
Ugh,
That's fair.
that would be terrible. Y'all have a good night.
You
Yeah,
too.
Later, Robert.
Oh my word.
Oh yes, so I guess official into session. But
Yeah.
Alright. End the stream. Let you sign off however you want.
so long, everybody.